Hi, I'm Cheri, and today I'm going to show you another one of the cards in my series using the pigment sprinkles. The pigment sprinkles are the new line of brusho that are in the Stampin' Up! Colors. So if you've worked with the brusho in the old catalog, they're the same thing. They're just vibrant colors. They're in the Brights family in the Stampin' Up! Colors. So they are so much fun to work with. I loved the brusho, and I'm an Earth Elements kind of girl, and those were earthy tones. So here's two cards that I currently have the tutorials up for on YouTube, so you can go check these out if you've missed them. This uses the Friend Like You bundle, and then this one uses the Birch and the Cow set. So both of these are up. Today's, I'm not going to use as many colors, and then I have three more cards in my lineup to film. I'm going to do two right now because you do get your hands dirty. So my hands are still dirty. So I'm going to keep going. And then I have a couple more that I'm going to clean up my mess and get back to because they're so much fun. And I want you to see all you can do with them before you get them. So today I'm going to use this fun new stamp set. It's called Here's to Strong Women. And if you haven't seen it, I really got it for You've Got This Girl because I like that. But today I'm going to use these two because I'm still working with the resist technique. The next two cards I'm filming are using the resist technique. So I'm going to go with these stars right here. So I'm going to use the Courage is Your Superpower. So the card really could be for a guy or a girl. That's a great saying, I think. Where did I put my cardstock? Here it is. So I'm going to go with Coastal Cabana. Because or Bermuda Bay, sorry. Bermuda Bay, Green Apple Green, and Gorgeous Grape are the pigments that I'm using. And then this is Shimmer White cardstock. My daughter has a couple of videos that she's done, and she's used the Whisper White, and it's worked okay. I was kind of surprised, but Shimmer White's my favorite, and I can afford a little bit more nicer cardstock than she can. So I'm going to stick with my Shimmer White. And then I'm going to use the new Shimmer White embossing powder. And I will tell you that I have switched my heat gun because I have more than one of our heat tools. And the new one has like a safety setting or two settings. I don't even know if it's the newest one. I think it is the newest one, maybe not. But the one I'm going to use today heats a little faster. And so you don't have to wait as long. So this little row of stars, I've got the Versamark. And I'm just kind of going to stagger them. They don't have to be perfect because, you know, this is kind of a messy background, messy technique. So I just want there to be white resist. And they are a little bit hard to see because you're stamping white on white. Those overlapped a little bit, but it's okay. We're just going for some background. And the nice thing is when you're putting words over the top, which if you've seen the other two videos on both of those, the cards I made on camera were different than the cards that I originally made. Not overall different, but a little bit different because you can put the saying that you have over. Like you can pick the prettiest part of your design that you want to show. So that's all I need for that. I'm going to get that out of the way. And then you pour the powder on. You grab a piece of extra cardstock. Pick this up. And see how pretty this is. It's white embossing powder that has shimmery glitter in it. My hands, just from moving everything around and opening stuff back up this morning, are already a little bit pigmenty. It's the purple, I think. It's the Gorgeous Grape. They make your hands a little gorgeousy grape. So you can see it's just random. Doesn't matter if they're perfectly straight. And it also doesn't matter for this technique if you get all of that spare embossing powder off. This is new embossing powder, and I already have pieces of stuff. You know, I have embossing powders that are probably 10, 15 years old, And they have lots of pieces of random stuff in those. So my next card is also going to use the shimmer white, so that's why I didn't terribly clean off my scrap paper. Okay, I'm going to stand up so you can see me heat this. If you've watched the other two videos, you know my other gun wasn't even this loud. So you just want to heat it till it turns white. And there, if you watch the other one, you'll see how much faster this one heats. It just gets hotter faster. I think the other one has some safety features, and it also has a drying feature. We're going to throw a little bit of safety out the window. Nobody's ever got burnt on this one, so we're good. And before there were before there was heat tools, you know, I used a paint stripper. So this is much faster. It made my other video take a little bit longer because there was a lot of embossing. So my daughter did, her video is with the dinosaurs. And so she had a lot of embossing, and so I suggested to her that I emboss off camera because she films hers to music. And she said, why don't I use your faster gun? And so when she embossed, she's like, Mom, it's a lot faster. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go back to the old heat tool as well. Much, much faster. And then just flip it up on top. It's also much louder. Which is the other reason when I'm just heating a couple of things on camera, I tend to go with my new gun. It kind of drowns out my talking. And the other one also slides, and I forget this one doesn't slide when I go back and forth between the two. So you just want to make sure that there's no powder, so it's all nice and done. Then this is where the magic happens. This is my favorite part. So I've got my 3 colors, and I'm just going to be random with them. So first I'm going to do the Bermuda Bay, and then this is where I found my fingers were getting the dirtiest. So if you have, but now my I should have washed this off because this is kind of dirty too. Because my daughter and I this week, a lot of pigment playing. But if you pop the tops off, the new pigment sprinkles, if you haven't seen any of the videos yet, have these little tops. And if you pop the top off with a spatula, then your fingers aren't getting so dirty because there's powder up here. So you just need a little bit. So this is Bermuda Bay, and this I want to be my main color. So you don't need a lot, literally don't need a lot. So very light touch, and I hold it at a 90-degree angle so not a ton comes out. And I'm not going to close them all the way since I'm going to film again. Then I'm going to go with Granny Apple Green, and the Granny Apple, I think just from using it, and I've left it open, it probably has the most mixed colors. So you're going to get a little bit of everything with the Granny Apple, which is kind of fun. So when you see a little splatter like that come out, stop, because that's enough. And then the gorgeous grape. So see how it gets here? This is where it gets all over you. But I don't want to clean them off because I don't want to make these muddy. And I don't want to mess with my lid because I don't want to ruin it, because it is a great delivery system for getting them on here. But again, just a little tap. And I know from my other card that I'm going to put my saying kind of here, so I'm kind of avoiding that. Because why waste my sprinkles, right? Although I will tell you that when the brushes came out, I bought 2 boxes. Because you know I do classes, and I do lots of filming, and I make lots of cards. And I never opened the second box, and I use lots of them. So they do last a long time. So here's how much powder is on here. And here's where the magic happens. You just take the spritzers that we have with the water, and you want to aim kind of high because you don't want the air that's coming out of this to blow the powder off. So you want to get it wet before it gets air. Then once it's kind of wet, you can move it closer. And then again, you can use the spatula tool. If you don't have a take your pick tool, you're crazy because they're fabulous. So once it's kind of all wet, just hold it and let it kind of ooze around a second. And then this is where the other heat tool, it works a little better because this one's hotter. You're going to take your heat tool and just kind of move this around. And as the water kind of soaks up, then you can get it a little closer. You don't want it to move too much because then it'll turn muddy. And we don't want muddy. We want the colors to stay separate. And the closer it gets, the neater kind of makes it move. But once the puddles of water are gone, then you can get it closer. So if you were thinking, I would like to do this, but I can't, I do classes and I can't do it in class, you can, because it's already dry. So how pretty is that? And it's dry, all dry. The only thing that's still wet is this little piece right here. So we're just going to move that out of the way. Okay, and then to do our saying, I have this beautiful Noble Peacock foil, which is actually peacock, but it's close enough. It's just a shade darker than the Bermuda Bay. And then another piece of shimmer. So I'm going to pull the courage is your superpower saying. And I am going to use the peacock because it's a nice bold color with these. You've got this strong of a background. You can see my table's been a little bit pigment colored. So if you're doing this and you care about your work surface, you will want to use a tablecloth. But if you follow along, you know that this is legit a work table that we have repurposed. It's an antique table. And we usually paint it in the spring. In the spring it got missed, which I'm kind of glad because now it's been pigmented. So we'll do it in a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to use this framelit that is from the To a Wild Rose. So I'm going to run these through the die cut machine. Because I'm using it twice, I'm going to have to do it twice. Well, I guess it helps if you put your plates in the right order. And this is one of the new die cuts from Stampin' Up. And they're fabulous, so you only have to run them one time through. I picked this one because I thought it kind of looked a little bit like the shield that's on there. We're big superhero Marvel fans here, so it just reminded me of a superhero shield. So just one pass. Perfect. And it doesn't stick. You don't have to force it. And then again, with the piece of Noble Peacock foil. In the foil, if you haven't seen that from the Noble Peacock, you get a ton of sheets and you get 3 colors. It's not like our normal foils where you just get 2 sheets. So again, run that through. How pretty is that? That's all we need for the die cutting. But then, when I was like, oh, that's so beautiful, so I didn't want to leave all that there. And then I wanted to layer this. And there's hacks where you can make this bigger and cut that apart and spread it apart, but I didn't want to cover up all this. So I went with trimming this down. So just take this stitched here, it's a stitched, and just trim just under it. Just follow the lines. It might not be perfect, but this cardigan has so much going on with all of the stuff behind it, nobody is going to notice if this is not cut exactly perfect. And I have another little tip for you if we mess up a little bit on our cutting. And my other one was probably going to be cut better because my head was over the top, but when I film, you don't want to see the top of my head. But literally just follow just inside the stitch because you want it to be, you want a lot of this to show. So lay it on here. It's pretty good. I can lose a little bit more up here. And maybe a little bit more here. Once you have the basic outline, then you can kind of just like work in it. Let's see how this looks. See, it's not perfect, like right here, but I'll show you what you can do to fix that. Let's show it to you right side up. But it makes a nice layer. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is messy. So when you put it on there, you're not going to notice. But then the other thing that I wanted, I didn't want to lose all that pretty paper behind. And look how beautiful my table is. Maybe I just want a pigment colored table. Maybe the days of white farmhouse are over. Maybe I'm going to go to 80s neon for my stamping surface. Or maybe not, because maybe that's why my hands keep getting dirty. So what I wanted to do, I thought it would be nice to have some little stars. And so I went and got this star punch, which goes with one of the nursery baby things in the catalog. So it takes a little bit of a, you don't want to get the moon because you don't want to chop into the side of this. So you go in and you make sure that you're not going to hit the sides. And you just get a few stars, because that way you're not wasting any of your beautiful noble peacock paper. You can get the big one if you're super careful, because you have to make sure that it's not nicking the moon right there. Because there it's going to get the moon. I think there we're good. Again, it's hard for me to see without my head over it. I'm going to pull it out of camera a second. Okay, I think there we're good. Yep. So, on mine, if you look closely, and I'll get it, there's a couple of places where I get into the edge, but it's worth it to me to get the stars. And again, you don't notice it. Maybe if you give the card to somebody who's got some eyesight superpowers, they will notice it. But see, if you do here, you're going to hack that whole thing off. That's not what you want. So we have enough of those. Then the same thing I did here. So put this on here. I'm going to go ahead and stick this on. And I'm going to stick where I pop that little star out, where my, right here, see? You can see a little bit of star right there. But I'm going to use a star, and I'm just going to put right over the top of it. So my cutting's bad, and there's a little star that's missing. But I'm just going to use another star to cover that up. So now we're going to go back to this, and I'm going to decide what part. It's all kind of pretty. So, you know, you just kind of work with it and decide which part. I like this speckly part. I really don't like this part. It's probably the part I like the least. So I'm going to push my thing in here, and this time I can pretty much get the whole thing, because you can see this. Here, do it this way. This will cover up all of that. So you get one little time where you can shove it in here. I don't want the moon though, but there's another hack for that. So just shove this in here. I'm losing my stars. It's not good to lose your stars. Do it this way so they all fall on the table. Here's the one I lost over here. And then take your moon, and the prettiest parts of what popped out of it, you can get a couple more. I think on my original card I got a few more, but I'm not going to waste time. You get the point. Any place where you're going to not be able to see, move those over there, and they kind of get lost on my beautiful pigment table. This is already dry, so if you were thinking that maybe I wasn't telling the truth about it being dry, you can see I punched it. It is a little warpy from being wet and being heat embossed, so just put enough adhesive that it'll flatten back down. Okay, and then I'm going to put this here. And again, you can just see where all of my paper that I've used, because you don't want to waste all this paper, and you could take a little bit more time and get the stars from over here. I just don't want to do that on camera, but I did do it on my other card. So put those there, and then just go back and get your stars that you have here. And just use the back of your, and here's my biggest one that came from my paper, and I'm going to stick it right there over the hole. So now where my cutting wasn't great and where I had a little hole, it's all fixed. So just kind of randomly add them for a little bit of depth and dimension. Because I had extra ones, because I spent a little bit more time on my other ones, on some of the big ones, I double layered them. So that's the only thing that's really going to be missing. I'll show you what I mean. Like I put some of these little ones on top of the big ones. You could use your take your pick tool with the sticky end to pick these up. But just put them all on. Or you can just grab them with the other end of this. That works as well. I'm just doing it upside down so it feels a little bit of... You want to make sure you put them where it's not... blending in to what you already have. Let's put one there. Here's another. The foil ones look nice on opposite color, like there. I know there's a couple more on the table, but this is good. You get the idea. So there you go. And here's my other one. So every card's going to look a tiny bit different depending on how your pigment fell, how your stars are placed. This one, I didn't realize when I started that my piece of shimmer paper was a little bit small, but it's okay. I just moved it over and kind of filled the space with those, because when it was said and done and I went to layer it, I was like, well, so I picked that whole thing up and just moved it over. And I guess I did put that one on with dimensionals. I did not do that on this. You kind of, I guess you can maybe see a little bit more of the foil, maybe not. But there, the pigment powders to pigment sprinkles, trust me, super, super fun. And every time you spritz, you get something a little bit different. And it's like a little bit of fairy dust magic in your office or your studio or your stamp room, wherever you stamp. So I hope you enjoyed these. So here, let me show you. And I have, like I said, I still have 3 or 4 more cards. And my daughter's, I don't know if she put her, she's young, so she uses Instagram more than YouTube, or she may have put it on Facebook. I will link it over on my blog if you want to see her dinosaur. I think she did 2 videos. I know she filmed twice yesterday. I know for sure one of them was the pigment. I know, and I think both of them were the dinosaur. So I will put it on the link if you want to check hers out as well. So I've got some more coming your way, and then I can go wash my hands and get this all cleaned up. I've taken all my jewelry off. I've just tried to keep it clean. But super, super fun. I hope you like that. Have a great day. Bye.